And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, week number 65. I'm of course VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players by a stacked bracket as well. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is insane. The bracket is massive. We have players from all around the world, and we are here for some beautiful, some amazing StarCraft. Let's go. We're jumping right into our first series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the American Terran player. It's like 4 a.m. in America. It's crazy. It's wonderful. It is MedicJr. for the Platinum Heroes. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Protoss player, the green Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. The #1 Zound fan. Let us go. If you are in the chat, you know what time it is, Pappy. You know what time it is. It is time to get your Gamba going. It is time to get your Gamba going in the chat. There you go. Predictions are open for the next couple of minutes. Place your bets to predict on who you think will take the series. And I do highly recommend checking the bracket. The bracket is massive. The bracket is insane. There's a lot to catch up on. We will go over the bracket after this series, but something that I will say coming into this tournament, coming into this week of STC, is that a player has returned. A player has returned from the military. I think it was yesterday it was announced. But Zound has returned from the military. Zound has completed his military service. For those who do not know, Zound, he is a Korean Protoss player, and he did announce that he wanted to return to the game. He did announce he wanted to join a team, and Zound signed up for this tournament. Let's go. So it's only fitting. It's only fitting that we cast the Zound fan for perhaps later on Zound. As a reminder as well, for some greater context for this series, the winner of this series faces off against Zound as well. It's perfect. it's all coming together, Pap. It's all coming together. Hashtag rigged in the chat, because clearly the bracket was rigged to make the Zound fan face off against Zound, obviously. But yes, I do look forward to it. For now, though, we're focusing on this series here. Shout out to MedicJr, of course. MedicJr, we don't often get many players from the Americas in our tournaments. Very often, I mean, it's just not ideal. Right now, it's a pretty rough time in the Americas. If you happen to be from the Americas, whether it's, you know, North America, even Latin America as well, you're an animal. You're a bit of a degen, but we love you. we appreciate you, Pappy. We appreciate you. As I'm sure it's just a god-awful time in that part of the world at the moment, which is also why I do have a lot of appreciation for the players that do take part, that are from that time zone, players from Latino America, from North America as well. Much love here for MedicJr, as he's opening up with a Rax expand into a 3 Rax follow-up. Okay, so a bit of an economic start into a more aggressive follow-up here. I mean, the CC was delayed. I was glossing over it, but the probe did delay the command center by quite some time. So a nice little start for Zound, or I should say for Azura. I should actually just, hold on. I don't want to confuse myself, because it's going to get even more confusing later on, potentially. As I will just fix up some player names. There we go. As Azura does, you know, it does delay the initial opener here of MedicJr. Behind this, we're building up towards a stim timing, building up Mass Marine. Stim is on the way, and across the map, Azura is opening up with a Twilight Council. Okay, it's gonna be Twilight Council into Blink. Gateways have been thrown down. How many gates so far? Just 2. 1 gateway at the natural, 1 gateway in the main base. So no major aggression here. Just 2 gate Blink into what looks to be a 3rd base. Looks to be a macro opener out of Azura. We'll keep an eye on any additional gateways that are thrown down. He could technically throw down a 3rd and 4th gateway, be hyper aggressive, or just expand and take a 3rd. We'll see what Azura goes for. For the time being, Azura is poking in. Azura has yet to really confirm the main, has yet to really see much. I love that MedicJr is banking on Marines in the main base as well. He's keeping them hidden here from the prying eyes of Azura. Marauder production has begun. Likewise, across the map, MedicJr is not fully aware of what's going on, but there should have already been a Phoenix by now if it was a Stargate opener. So I do like the transition into Marauders. Marauders are building up as we speak, again working towards that eventual timing. Stim is still on the horizon here, so is Combat Shields. We're getting there, and yeah, the army is revealed. And here we go, MedicJr is moving out across the map. The upgrades are lined up to finish by the time the army does hit the natural, but before that does occur, I mean, Azura has scouted this. Azura is aware of it. Azura's going to try and slow this down. So far, a good call. The Stalkers, they move out across the map. A Bleak is almost done, and it's on Azura to pick off as many Marines as possible before Stim kicks in. Again, Stim is still 10 seconds away. One Marine has fallen. Oh! We do get a second Marine. And almost a third. Again, the Marines, they take a lot of damage. They take a lot of hits already. Stim has completed so his combat shields. And does he go for the Stim? He does! There's a blink. Yeah, the Stim gets baited out, and MedicJr at this point has to back off. At this point, this army, it's battered, it's bruised, it's very low HP. Scans, he misses the Observer! No! The Observer! It went across the map. Scan doesn't quite catch it, and from here, Azura taking a third. Taking a third base into Robotics Bay as well towards Colossus production. So far, Azura's looking quite comfortable. So far, Azura's not punished for, expanding and being on a lighter gateway count. Now, what I will say, even though this was a rough start for the Terran player, is at least MedicJr pulls away and preserves his army. The Marines and Marauders that have been kept safe and sound for the most part is going to be able to hold his own here on top of the ramp. But alas, Azura has high ground vision. Picks up more Marines. That's the second Stim. Takes down the Observer at least. Observer goes down. The bunker's almost done. And this army needs a medevac desperately. Starport is just now finishing up in the main. There's the add-on swap into the reactor, and medevacs will soon be on the horizon here, or are on the horizon for MedicJr. He needs a medic, Bobby. And until then, MedicJr is stuck at home. He's going to be stuck at home. Azura has map control. You can see Azura fanning out his stalkers, making sure he's able to keep up and catch up with any kind of drop play while he safely saturates back at home. Third base getting up and running. Colossus production has begun. Soon to be extendable lance. Charge on the way. Gateway explosion. Azura looking very comfortable here. Getting up to 3 bases and then getting into his own production, into his own army. So Azura's looking solid. Behind this, we can see MedicJr is not going for an all-in. Third CC is on the way. That tells us that, of course, we're building up towards a longer game state. Meanwhile, a big shout to Rally Hearts in the chat. God, what time is it? I was just going on a bit of a tirade about the NA representatives that we have in our tournaments, but thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great, I'm assuming, ladder session. Regardless, thank you so much, and take care. Take care, Papi. Take care. Get some rest. Ay, ay, ay. We do appreciate the support. We appreciate it. Giving a shout out in the chat. So from here we are settling in. MedicJr moving out once again. This time with medevacs. This time MedicJr can sustain himself. Let's go. We do have some sustain. Double Forge on the way for double upgrades. The first 2 Colossus have arrived, and again, as the Colossus count gets higher and higher, Azura is looking more and more secure here. Moving out, the Stalker does get eyes on the third base. Azura aware of the expansion. And MedicJr is still looking for damage. Does go for a double jump towards the main base. There is an Observer in position. Azura does spot this, but does he react in time? Drop is coming in. Army does rotate. And we could try and deny some of these upgrades. Initially going for the gateway. Pylon goes down. Gateway as well, but the forges are left safe and sound. The bay as well. Yeah, these are affordable losses here for Azura. We'll clean this up. At the same time, reinforces. No, they run into the Colossus. They run into the third base, and Azura does defend. Cleans up the drop, shuts down the main push. And MedicJr didn't really get much with that. Again, just got a pylon, got a gateway, didn't quite deny any upgrades or deny any Colossus production. Scan does reveal the lack of fourth at least. Medic can still build back up. But that was a big loss of units, and that does mean that Azura now has map control. Azura looking quite comfortable. Now moving out. Again, there's not really much to keep him back home. And Azura's getting ready for his own counterattack. He's been stuck defending, but now he can move out. Blocks are knocked down. Disruptor production has begun. Second robo's on the way. Azura's going to poke in. I don't think Azura can commit with this, though. There's not that many Zealots here to support. Does force a cancel. Zealots, they come in from behind, actually. Boys being pulled away. Oof. Massive Colossus wipes. MedicJr has to pull back. Likewise, stimming in, going for the Colossus. The Vikings are putting in a lot of damage, and it looks like Azura did overextend. I mean, I say that, one Colossus goes down, but Azura, he gets 18 SCVs. Yeah, I do think MedicJr maybe respected that move out a little bit too much. Does deflect the main army, but a Zealot counterattack in the main base. 20 SCVs go down. 20 worker kills. And a cancellation on the 4th CC as well. And MedicJr, he may have survived, he may have deflected the main army, but is now stuck on the 2-base economy. Is now stuck on 44 SCVs, back across the map, Azura on 4 bases. And even though he lost 1 Colossus, I mean, it doesn't matter anymore. Now we have Disruptors. Disruptors are building up. Again, that main army engagement didn't actually go too poorly for MedicJr. Unfortunately, he just gave it too much room. Just gave it too much respect in a way. Lost his entire mineral line as a result. And at this point, MedicJr has to be all in. I say that. He throws down a Ghost Academy. That tells us that he wants to wait a little bit longer and wait for Ghost production. That's all well and good, but unfortunately that means that he's giving Azura a lot of time to breathe and a lot of time to max out. He's going to be active though. He's sharking around, looking for the 4th, checking the vision. MedicJr has scouted the 4th base towards the north. There's no 5th. Shout out to the tuna. It's beautiful. Celaromba hits a natural. There are reinforcements back at home, but these Zelts will eventually be cleaned up, but that's going to be another 7 SCV, 8 SCV kills. No! The whole position. 9 workers going down. Again, there's just not much at home to work with. Not anymore for MedicJr. It's going to be all or nothing here. He's got 15 Marauders, 28 Marines. If he can somehow avoid the Novas, which sounds crazy, but if he can split his heart out, avoid the Novas, collapse on the Colossus. If there's no there's an overcharge, but if he can fight the army out in the open, then maybe. But nah, there it is. GG gets called. Azura will take the first game, and MedicJr will tap out. GG. And just a rough game state there for MedicJr. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to, or I should say, did fall a little bit too far behind, losing his mineral line, losing his 4th base, and his economy was crippled, so he just could not keep up, could not sustain himself against Azura in a longer game state. That's why we were alluding to the fact that he was pretty all in. Unfortunately, no final fight. They didn't quite clash in the end, but the writing was on the wall. It was on the wall there, and it was looking a little bit bleak for MedicJr. But regardless, GG. GG, well played. Azura takes the first game, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Lobby is being set up. And shout out to everyone in the chat as well. Hola, papi. Hola, hola. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hope you're doing well. Just catching up. Let's not forget Hyper Mono versus Hot Mono. True, I haven't touched the bracket yet. Haven't gone in. We'll get there. Azura was discharged the 12th of September. Let's go. There you go. It's been, what, 10 days? Around 10 or so days since Azura's return. So I'm really excited to see, like, his form, his state of play. Winding it back a little bit, we have had some returning players, recent returning players that are looking so good. I'm referring to specifically Rogue and Trap. Rogue and Trap, they finished up their military a couple of months ago. And they've been competing for quite some time. Hold on. Oh god. Sorry, just something's happening in game. But yeah, when it comes to Rogue and Trap, they've been back for a couple of months, but they're looking so damn good and so competitive as well with the rest of the scene. It wasn't even too long after Rogue's return where he actually defeated Clem as well. The VODs are available on YouTube, so yeah, it's great to see, you know, Rogue and Trap doing well, and I want to believe that someone like Zaun can also catch up and keep up with everyone else as well. Despite, you know, being retired for so long, I'm curious to see the rate of improvement for Zaun. Very curious. It's been 10 days. It's been 10 days. We'll get there. We'll get there. As we have our lobby, you can hear the beeps. We are loading into game number 2. Muy bien, muy bien. How about you? Excited. Let's go. Excited, Papi. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner of GoldenEye, we have the Italian Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. I'll fix up his name. I'll fix it up. Un momento. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player from the land of the Americas, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is MedicJr. Ooh, and we had, a more standard Mac-oriented game in Game 1, but here in Game 2, we have not just one SCV, we have two. Two workers are moving out across the map, and MedicJr is doubling down and proxying. Gonna be cheesing it up here against Azura. Probe Scout is moving out, and the Raxes are about to be placed. Okay. The pressure is on, aggression is upon us. If MedicJr, if he cannot touch Azura in a longer macro game, time to cheese it up, man. Cheese it up. Let's go. The queso. Now the Maxes are on the way. It's just going to be the single gas guys are back at home. I'm curious if we're going to be embracing something a little bit different, like add-ons, tech labs, going double proxy Marauder, for example. Or if we just go into Reaper production instead. What's it going to be? Ah, there it is. Tech labs are on the way. Marauders are going to be the answer here for MedicJr. So it's going to be setting up Marauder production. The downside is that Azura probe scouted. He probe scouts, he sees there is no Rax at the ramp, is checking the natural, will check further back at the main. Azura first has to confirm that there is actually a proxy. For those that are curious, it is not uncommon for the Terran player to hide their first Rax further back in their main base or even in their natural. That is why Azura is double checking. Azura is double checking these locations, even checking the third base location as well. As second probe moves out on Azura, he finds it. He does find the proxy. MedicJr knows he's been found. He knows. Does scout the tech labs, and Azura is fully aware of the Marauders. Shield batteries are on the way. We'll see if the medic can pull this off. Already going for a safety zealot. Boys are being pulled. They can set up bunkers. Oh no! One SCV goes down. Not the best start. One SCV falls. Two shield batteries on the way. Oh no! The final SCV is going to go down as well. Going for the Marauder, actually. I mean, he can go for both. Yeah, why not both? As the Marauders, they take a lot of damage. Soon to be up to 5 Marauders. We are building up, and again, that's 2 shield batteries and an overcharge as well. There's just so much to break here. I mean, Marauders, they can do well against buildings, that is true, but they can't even get close. One Marauder goes down. Dealing quite a bit of damage here to the Stalker, but a second Marauder falls. As 2 Marauders falling, the shield batteries are slowly running out of energy. More shield batteries on the way. Across the map, Azura confirms there's still no expansion. There's nothing on location. Making sure that it is just an all-in. And there's 3 more shield batteries in production. Now, this is a bit of an Artosis pylon, and if somehow MedicJr can take down that pylon, I mean, he can break this position, but the problem here is that he just hasn't been able to build up a high enough Marauder count. Bleeding out 2 Marauders already is pretty massive, and as time progresses, it's getting easier and easier for Azura to defend. Speaking of pylons, that's the second pylon on the way, so Azura's already being careful. Just in case one pylon falls, we'll have a backup. The boys have been pulled! Let's go! The boys are here! Likewise, probes being pulled as well. 1 Stalker goes down to 2 Stalkers! Down to 1! 1 Stalker left! The overcharge doesn't matter! The overcharge does not matter. Final Stalker does go down, but we have another warp in! 1 more Stalker does warp in! And that's a lot of probes. The Marauder count is quite high. But alas, against probes, they don't really trade too well. With that Marauder count, though, we're up to 7 Marauders. Can we pull this off? I mean, we're running out of steam a little bit here. And nice target firing out of Azura. Does focus on 2 more Marauders. Bleeds out some workers, but Azura still on 22 probes. It's another Marauder, down to 5. Down to 4. And GG gets called. Azura will survive. We'll take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, Azura did scout very early on. If that had gone unscouted a little bit longer, then maybe MedicJr would have had a little bit more success. I mean, in general, like, there was definitely a moment there where he was almost able to at least completely reset the Stalker count and maybe break through. regardless, GG. GG, well played. Azura will take the series 2-0, and a shout out to MedicJr as well. Again, it is very late in the Americas, very late. I guess depending on where you are in the Americas, but shout out to MedicJr for, you know, signing up at like 4, 5 a.m. in the morning for competing here tonight. Thank you, thank you. Big shout out to MedicJr, and congratulations to Azura. Congratulations. With that, we have our first series wrapping up, and now we can check out the bracket itself.